How is Trans Visibility Day and the Holocaust related? Trans Visibility Day was March 31st. Holocaust, 6 million people mass murdered. One of the worst things that has ever happened in history. The reason people get so worried that trans people are in danger is what's called the pyramid of hate. One of the best examples of the pyramid of hate I tend to find on the ADL website. But there are simpler versions that even my students can understand. Things start with a biased attitude. People just don't like certain things. Then you start acting biased towards certain things or certain groups. Then you start actively discriminating against these groups. Then instead of just discriminating against these groups, all of a sudden violence starts occurring against these groups. And then boom, before you know it, there is a genocide. This is how the Holocaust happened. Biased attitudes, acts of bias, discrimination, violence based on that bias, and then full-out genocide. You can't deny that this is somewhat happening to trans individuals right now. I myself am not trans. But in 2024, we could see 538 bills in the United States government all actively targeting trans people. It's a very small population, trans individuals, with a lot of focus. 41 states focusing on just banning and outlawing being trans. Take a look at how this satisfies the first three, right? This is not just a bias towards trans people. It's active bias that specifically targets this group as the root of all evil. A small group of people, the trans community, so much so that we should actively create legislation, active discrimination against this group of people, keeping them out of this bathroom, keeping them out of this public, keeping them out of this library. We need to actively discriminate these people because these people are dangerous, is what people are saying. Then you have clear instances where trans students are being attacked in bathrooms, no one says anything. You can see how very quickly we've gone from just bias not liking trans people to acts of bias to active bills and legislation that target trans people. And now we're actually starting to get actual violence towards trans individuals, including trans kids, and no one's actually being punished for it, right? This is why people are nervous, because genocide is the next step. Everything, oh my God, there's not going to be genocide of trans people. Well, this one's going to be a stretch, right? Well, the Florida governor actively calls people that are trans like child predators. He says that they're predators and that, they're out to get the children. And then he makes this law, right? Sex offenders can face the death penalty in Florida. Now, I'm actually for strict sentencing when it comes to child predators. We need to keep children safe. But this is scary, right? He makes multiple laws about how trans people should not be allowed in bathrooms, shouldn't be allowed around kids. He calls all trans people child predators. Then he makes a law, oh, by the way, the death penalty is okay for child predators. This makes me scared. Not defending child predators, but did you really have to pass both of those laws right back to back? You really had to make multiple laws saying trans people are child predators and aren't allowed anywhere publicly in society, and then in the same freaking quarter make a law that says it's okay to give the death penalty to child predators? This is how genocide sneaks up on people and you don't see it coming. So again, people wonder oh my God, how are 6 million people just executed by the government? It works its way up very quickly, which is why trans visibility is important. I hope this helps.